has to be like one of the craziest years for real estate. And we've been able to see some growth on our team, but we also seen some people who are not seeing the growth and are maybe a little bit stagnant. But what I'm seeing, the epidemic that I'm seeing in our industry is distraction. This has been the biggest distraction in our business, along with social media, along with getting likes, clout. And so really what I want to do is come on here and speak to that. Come on here and really speak to those agents who are getting a little distracted. And why am I able to speak on this? It's because I've been distracted. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting away from the main thing, which is producing. It's not so much the social media, but more on the conversion side. How do we get our top producers to meet their goals? That way we meet our goal. And a lot of times we can tell them they need to do content, they need to do video, they need to do this. But in reality, they just need to get better at converting. And they need to get better at their schedule. And they need to focus on their skills. So a couple of things that I've been thinking about is going back to the basics. How do we as an industry go back to the basics when we're being tugged and pulled in so many directions that we're thinking, I need to do social media because, so-and-so's doing social media. I need to do social media because Robert's doing social media, because Gabe's doing, whoever it is, we believe it's important because somebody else is doing it. In reality, and my buddy Gabe said something really, really good the other day in a mastermind. He's saying, as everyone's going more Jetson, he's going more Flintstone. And I do believe that. Now, of course, continue to use AI at a high level, 100%. Continue to automate, continue to leverage, right? Like we know all that, but getting back to the basics and not maybe so much doing door knocking like Gabe wants to do. And I think that's great. And if you're doing that at a high level, keep doing it. Trust me, you're going to get better results than on social media, just my opinion. Getting back to developing your skills as a business owner, as a salesperson, it's going to be extremely important. And it could be as simple as, how is my tone when I'm speaking to people? What's my body language look like when I'm speaking to a client? What type of confidence am I portraying to the client as I'm speaking to them and helping them speaking to them and helping them make a decision? And so it's kind of a lost art right now because we're so focused on leads, lead generation, social media, all this stuff that we forget to actually close them when we're there. And a lot of us are just getting lucky enough to be able to close these people. We're just getting in front of the right people at the right time. Now, if you want to improve on those skills, a couple of things that you should be doing every single day. Number one, you should be following a schedule. If you don't follow a schedule, I don't know what you're doing. You have to follow a schedule. It's super, super important that you follow a schedule. And I live and die by my schedule. If something's on my schedule, it's going to get done. If the wrong address is on my schedule, say my assistant put the wrong address on there, I'm going to the wrong address just because I live by it. It sounds silly, but I live by it. If my wife reaches out to me and says, hey, I want to take the kids out to Disneyland tomorrow, sorry, wife, it wasn't on the schedule. And obviously, we have to have some flexibility there, and I totally get that part. But for the most part, you have to have your schedule down. Too many of us are distracted by creating content, recording video, doing all this stuff that's really not pushing the needle forward. And so by having your schedule down, when it comes to creating content, okay, pick one day out of the week, create the content, move on. Second thing with creating content, you should be, I'm going into a dark tunnel here. You should be editing. If you still edit your own videos, you should be editing your videos early in the morning or late in the evening. Just my opinion. Don't let the middle of the day be your editing time, because you're taking away from the time that you should be prospecting, the time you should be calling people. It's taken away from all that. Now, on top of that, the third thing with social media and schedule is that you can actually schedule out your post. So your post can be all scheduled out, ready to go for the day. You shouldn't be posting. So you should do all the editing, all that before or after. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be super, super important. So number one, we got to get our schedules down. Number two, we also, in our schedules, I don't know why I keep saying number one, number two. It's not really going to correlate because I'm going to end up at number 5 or something. But some part of our schedule, we need to have prospecting time. You need to have prospecting time. Why is this important? Because prospecting time is what drives our business forward. Without our prospecting time, we can do all the content that we want. We can get all the leads that we want. But if we're not prospecting to convert these people, it is not going to matter. So where in your schedule do you have that prospecting time locked in? Now, preferably when it comes down to a prospecting time, you're going to want this time to be either early in the day or typically later in the afternoon. And a couple of reasons. Early in the morning, you have the most energy. People will answer the phone. Now, some people are going to be at work, and I get that. The best time, in my opinion, and somebody can maybe fact check me on this, I don't know. This is just from what we've been able to generate, right? We're going to sell 200 homes this year. The best time to call is anywhere from like 3:30, really 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock. 4 to 7 o'clock is the best time to call. And if you have a prospecting window of 3 hours, and I don't care what you do in the morning, you can go to the gym, take care of your kids, take them to school. But when it comes down to 4 to 7 p.m., I need to be prospecting for more business. And I need to be setting appointments for the next day. Now, if you can prospect early and then later in the afternoon, maybe do 2 hours and 2 hours instead of 3 hours, great. Hey, more power to you. But the point is, you have to find a time to prospect. Now, second thing, something that I'm working on right now is finding time to feed your mind, right? And this is all part of the schedule part. And I didn't even know I was going to talk about the schedule part, but this is where we're at. When it comes down to your schedule, are you taking enough time to take a step back and say, what are the top 5 things that need to get done today, right, to push the needle forward? Absolute must that I need to do. Some could be following up with clients. Some could be making sure my escrows don't fall apart. Whatever it is, what are those 5 things that need to get done? And when am I going to fit them in my schedule? They need to be somewhere in your schedule. You can't just guess. It can't be guesswork. It has to be, this is when it is, this is when it's happening, this is when I'm going to do it. So it's super important that you do that. Now, I have a rule on on our team, and I have a rule on how I deal with either like hot clients, open escrows, or active listings, is I reach out to them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I have an assistant doing it, so it could be a little bit different. They'll hear from me from time to time, but that's the rule that I live by, and that keeps my clients, that keeps them, or I stay in front of them, I should say. So that's going to be, I pick a time during that schedule to follow up with them and do all that stuff. So now I figured out when I'm going to record my content. I figured out when I'm going to post it, when I'm going to schedule it, when I'm going to edit it, whatever it is, right? Now I have my prospecting time. I have the time where I'm dealing with all the craziness, escrows, all that stuff that sucks up your time. You're going to have a time. After that time is done, you cannot deal with it. Unless it's super, super pressing, a lot of things, guess what? They can wait till tomorrow, surprisingly, right? And so as you're developing these skills and getting back to the basics, another thing that you have to have in there is practice time. So now you have time for your mind, you have time to practice, and you're putting that all together to build the ultimate schedule. Now, what does it look like to practice? Practicing on your scripts. Super, super important that you're practicing scripts. We had a script call today on tonality, right? Like just the basics of having the right tone can literally take you from selling 15 homes to 25 homes, just in your tone and how you approach people. So looking at practice and then getting your mind right? Like all it takes is about 20 to 30 minutes to get your mind right. What are the 5 things I need to get done? We talked about this, right? What are you grateful for, right? Some of you guys, for me, it'll be prayer, right? And some devotional time and really visualizing my goals, going over my goals, keeping that in front of me. And that's a whole different conversation. I'm not going to get into that, but making time to develop that throughout your day. And it only really takes 30 minutes. You don't need more than that. It could be 45 for some people, but most of us are just waking up and hoping to generate results. We're hoping something's going to come about, and we don't know if it actually is. So with that, getting back to the basics is going to be super important. Working on your skills, getting all that going, and I'm going to help you get there. And that's what we're going to be doing on these talks. We're going to be going over specific items that we need to address as realtors, because it's not so much about beating you guys up, but we're distracted right now. We're so distracted that we're distracted. And the distraction is stopping us from having the business and living the life that we want, because we're distracted. And I'm telling you this because I experience it. I get distracted all the time. I love scrolling TikTok, watching videos of people cutting hair. Right now it's actually a landscaping, like this landscaping thing is just, I'm going hard on the landscaping stuff right now. I'm not sure why, because I'm Mexican. But you have to realize that with those distractions, right, it comes lost opportunity. And so how much opportunity am I losing every single day? Like this drive alone, I could have just been driving, listening to music, but instead, hey, let's just load up the camera, right? I don't even have to look at the camera. I can pay attention, but I have the thoughts in my head. Let's load up the camera and let's record some video that are going to bring value to agents, instead of either scrolling my phone, which I shouldn't be doing, or listening to music. At the very least, I should at least be listening to a podcast or listening to some type of audiobook, whatever it is that's going to help me and help my business. But instead, we get distracted. And so with that being said, we're going to fight a lot of distractions. We have to be ready for them. We have to be prepared, and we have to know how to get around them. So can't wait for the next episode of Car Talk. I got another one. The next one I really want to get down is talking about tonality. I'm going to be doing a series with our team about tonality, the importance of it, how we approach people, how we speak to people, even how I speak on video, on the screen, is different than how I speak in real life. The tone is totally different, right? The way I sound is totally different. I don't naturally have like this exciting voice, right, all the time, or this voice of authority all the time. I'm a regular dude that lives a regular life, that just, when it comes down to, hey, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it with the right tone. And it's gonna make a huge difference, believe it or not, in your business. All right, guys, see you on the next one.